There we go. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm joined by, I don't have to keep saying this, but my partner Lynn at Week Cosplayer, and sorry the review for this is 2 days late, it kinda doesn't matter anymore, and I was debating whether if I should just wait until the reality war, because can't really judge this one yet it seems, because well, it is a two-part finale, so but I thought we might as well do it anyway because we're at the cinema on Saturday, so the review won't be out until Sunday, hopefully. And I think it's just best to get this over and done with. Obviously, we'll probably bring it up again when we've seen the reality war. But yes, this is a review of Wishworld, or Piss World as I was calling it before it came out, and it turned out to be exactly what I expected. Um, I have nothing to. I don't have anything to say at the moment for this, so I'm just gonna let Lynn talk first as always and can elaborate. But I hated this, um, really a lot, and this is my least favorite episode of this current era. Easily my least favorite. I don't think we could get any worse than Empire of Death, but we somehow have. Um, because at least Empire of Death, and I can't believe I'm giving this piece of shit a compliment. At least that had had good performances, especially from Bonnie Langford as Mel, and the Skullface stuff, which I really liked, her being like, a servant of Sutek, and it had the that fucking shit TARDIS set. That's not shit, it's just a mess, that's all. But bits of fan wank and that. So was there anything else I liked in Empire of Death? Sutek evaporating the planet was pretty cool. Apart from that, oh yeah, the references. But apart from that, yeah, it's still shit. Whereas with this, to me, there was nothing redeemable in this for me personally. And I've seen a lot of people's other opinions, and they felt the exact same way in terms of how it's presented and it's done and its dialogue. Um, People keep going on about the dialogue and the pacing in it, but for me, like, of this is including the 60 specials, it's my least favorite of this era, and Robot Revolution and Empire of Death are pretty down there, but I think this is easily worse than them two. Um, so I'm just gonna feed off Lynn because, of course, as always, Lynn likes it more than me. So even though this is the first one, she's like, "Oh, it's okay." Anyway, so what did you think?
For me personally, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad, it was just okay.
Okay.
But that's only because, unfortunately, even though we got the reveal at the end of last episode,
Yeah. I remember you saying this the
we
other
get,
day. Yeah.
you would have expected it just to go straight into the episode and
Yeah.
play what it needed to do over the two episodes.
But it's more set up.
Yeah, it's more set up.
Yeah.
Because we'll get the third part of the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
Which we'll get onto in a minute.
Yeah.
So, for that one, you need to look beyond what it's showing you and instead look at all the pieces we've had up to now and start slotting them in. Because when you start slotting them in, a lot of it actually makes more sense and it looks a lot better.
I hate how Lynn put this all together, and I realised, and I was like, shit.
So,
but yeah,
as much as people, when they actually figured it out properly, whether it's just modern knowledge or both modern and classic knowledge, a lot of people are not going to like where that's heading.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Because I said from day one of Russell being announced, well, when everybody was going, "Oh, Russell's back, yay! He can fix all the problems!"
And he'll make it less political.
I said from day one, that's not going to happen. The two things are going to happen. One, he'll completely and utterly ignore Time of Child stuff. Or two, he'll expand on it. And what's he done? Expanded on it. Because here's why. Okay, if you look at this, right? Now, we have 2 Rannies.
Yep.
A baby. And we have Conrad.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only 3 that really matter at the moment.
Yeah. 4.
Everything else is as we expected it.
Oh, well, 3. Oh, if you count the 2 Rannies as well. Okay, yeah. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Everything else is as we expected it. Now, we know who the Rannie is. Some may know more than others if you keep classic stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not really relevant too much. And we got Andrew by generated, which means the original Doctor by generated was set up for this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Then we've got a baby who we know is a wish of some sort, but we don't know who the baby is. We don't know what the baby is. And we know Conrad is wish. But if you actually look at it, you can see that, yes, this is what he wants, but not under the circumstances he's getting it in.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been held captive to some degree.
No, I definitely got that feeling off of it. He's not like, he's clearly not really, he doesn't matter to the Rannie, I would say.
Now, go back to, person number 4 that I forgot to mention, that's also relevant. Now, we've got a setup of Doctor and family.
Yeah.
Now,
which I forgot.
what they could have done, depending how they wanted to play this, they could have picked any baby out of anything. They could have just had a baby fitted in there.
Yeah.
Colour would probably be more accurate because of 2 black actors.
Yeah.
But a baby, that's all they needed. They did not need anything else. But they specifically chosen Poppy.
Okay.
So why have they specifically chosen Poppy? Now, if you go back to Space Babies.
Oh yeah, that's you said to me. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is Space Babies? Take all the boogeyman stuff out of it. What is it? A space shuttle, space station, whatever you want to call it. Bunch of babies and a nanny.
Yeah.
Now, we know that, I cannot remember for the life of me the name, but we know the name of the planet.
Yeah.
And the race.
Yeah.
That these babies belong to.
Yeah.
But we never see them, we never hear from them, we only hear from the nanny.
Yeah.
So, if we only hear from the nanny's a cover for something.
Yep.
We know the babies were born on there because they're textured babies.
Yeah.
Right? Now we have Poppy and Westworld come back. We've got a baby that we know was born to somebody on another planet.
Yeah.
So you take that baby. Now it does, and we already know reality's not matching up 100% here.
Yeah.
So
a reality war. Yeah.
we can give a few details here and there. So we take that baby and we take Poppy. Now, what's to say Poppy isn't that baby?
Yeah.
Okay. We know they're textured babies, but who's to say they're not a cover for Time Lord textured babies? We'll speak back into the Time Lord child stuff, which makes sense, because then it means that that baby will regenerate into Poppy, that they'll meet later on. What they could have met before.
Yeah.
In the whole, in a wind of time and whatnot.
Yeah. Limbs. Yeah.
So we'll get that. Then we've also got the Vindicator.
Yeah.
When it's picking up Strand of Time. But there's no difference to the engine. It's picking up stories.
Yeah. That is the same idea.
It's the Vindicator that's feeding everything to make everything happen when it needs to happen and keep everything alive. The same way the engine kept the gods alive through the story. Yes. And then the fact that we'll get Omega coming back means And we know Omega wanted to be a god if you've seen the Three Doctors, because that's what he said. I should have been a god, but I never was.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the big three that started the Time Lords. Because the Time Lords were never born.
Yeah.
Look at Gallifreyan that were born.
Yeah.
As we now know, Time Lords were created through Timeless Child. Yeah. Meaning Rassilon,
and
how I pronounce the name?
Who are you trying to say?
The woman.
Tecteun.
Yeah.
Barusa.
Omega, the big three.
Not Barusa. But yeah.
Created the Time Lord.
Yeah.
So that means that this is all pointing back at the Timeless Child stuff. Because we're now bringing Omega back. The Rani was probably there from the very early days. The same as the Doctor was there from the very early days. Because we know they've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good relationship or a bad relationship, and that's the same as the Master sort of plays on. Because he is sort of a Master in a sense.
Yeah.
But
with tits.
On a different level, because she's more in-house science. It has been. So she's probably
which was really lacking in this.
She's probably been created and had a hand in creating more. As time's gone on, she's probably been one of the lead scientists as time's gone on from Time Lord Society. So it all plays back at the Time Lord Child stuff. Whether people like it or not, that's where it's heading. And if you look at everything that came before it in the last 2 seasons, you can 100% see it because everything fits now into place. The only thing that did not make sense, and I think they'll probably go back onto because we've got Rogue coming back, and he mentioned tables are not meant to do that. So that's what we also need to work now.
How the tables have turned.
Why? And the mug falling through the table, and not off or sliding off the table, right?
Yeah.
We also still need to work out why is it a mug specifically. It could have been specifically. It could be any piece of cutlery. It could have been any object around the person at that moment. Why had it always a mug? The colour of the mug doesn't matter. I mean, I've seen.
Yeah, they're all the same.
You'd think the colour would have mattered because of how it played at the beginning.
Yeah.
But any mug, but it's always a mug, and then the minute that mug gets broken, they must replace it. Yeah. Why? Why is that a mug, and why does it need to be replaced in that instant?
Yeah.
That's the bit we need to really work out, because I think that will play a key part. And also go back to the Time of Child stuff. I think Susan might play into that somewhere as well.
Yeah.
But
because she popped up again.
Because we know she's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Or grandchild, depending how you want to pronounce it. But we've never known who her parents are or where she came from. But we've always presumed she's related to the Doctor by the established relationship of grandfather, granddaughter.
Yeah.
But technically, is that 100% accurate when the Doctor is not Gallifreyan? He might be and became a Time Lord through other means.
Yeah.
And because of the whole, the agency stuff.
Division.
Division, that's the one.
Yeah.
He could have been brought in and linked on to the Doctor as a cover.
Yeah.
Because we know the mind's been wiped so many times.
Yeah.
Because there's no men. Because Fugitive doesn't mention anything about a child.
No. Yeah.
So we have to presume that either she's born after that period.
Yeah.
Or even part of the bridge between the two.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's anything in a bad way. Per se, I think he's more the bridge of one life to the next.
Yeah.
And it could have easily been the Doctor grown back up and found a relationship.
Yeah.
And Kate and had kids and stuff. But I've got a funny feeling it might play into the child stuff and have just not technically related.
Yeah.
But by the sense of how Time Lords have been connected to sort of is.
Yeah.
In that sense. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. And that's why
yeah, you've been going on for 12, 13 minutes.
It's a lot to take in. That's why I would say to anybody, go and watch it again. I don't watch it on a basic level. Look beyond what you're actually seeing.
Yeah, I suppose. See, now...
Or if I quote Lion, look beyond what you see.
See.
Always look beyond what you see.
Yeah, she can say that because that's her number one franchise. Well, that and Doctor Who. But yeah. When Lynn put it all together when we were talking about after watching it the other night, because I just sat there and I was really annoyed at what I just watched because of how fucking boring it is, you know, and just when she pieced all that together, it doesn't make Wishworld any more interesting than it was, but it is making me think, and this is the thing. I think Lynn's right again. Nah, I think...
To be honest with you, I could be talking a whole lot of nonsense.
Nah,
I know that myself.
You could
but I don't think it seems to fit and make sense.
No.
Do you get the drift?
I think if they went bringing back Omega, it wouldn't have quite fitted.
No.
Because obviously, as we so may as well just talk about that because we've brought it up. Yes, the rumors were true. Omega is back.
I'm excited for.
I'm not.
As long as the problem I had, and that's what I said to you about the Suicide stuff. Suicide would have worked if the visuals matched the script. The script wasn't enough to hold on its own. So it needed the right visuals to be able to hold it and piece the two together. And I think Omega might have the same issue. Because they're almost going to redesign it.
Yeah.
Every monster, every god, monster, creature, whatever, they've done back, they've always redesigned it to some level. Whether they take the basic structure and just added to it, it's still a different design.
For anyone who's expecting the Three Doctors design, it's not going to happen.
But I think you might get something along those lines. I don't think they'll drive too far off it this time.
Yeah.
But as long as the visual stands up to what has been said, it should be okay.
Yeah.
But if the visual doesn't hold up to what's been said, then what's been said is going to fall very flat, and that's what kind of happened. Because he didn't get the setting and manner that he needed, because the visuals weren't there to back it up. The visuals were there to back it up. That setting and manner would have been a lot stronger. Right.
Okay. Now I care about dialogue and not effects, but we'll see. Lynn's just like, oh, this is an extra piece to add to my massive, nearly 20-minute theory. But what was I going to say? Well, right, this is just a random detour. Did you thought the CGI on Suit looked crap like everyone else did? Or did you think it was okay?
The CGI as in Rogue?
No, the CGI on Sutek.
Sutek.
That people complained about. Did you think it looked okay or it was rubbish?
It was okay. It could have been a lot better. Because redesign.
It's just when you compare it to that original design, it's like how does a paper mache mask look better?
It's one of those ones. It wasn't so much the CGI for me. It was the redesign itself. It's like,
yeah, it's a big.
Why are we going from what we established as God to be And most gods, when we think about them, they're usually established to be more human-like.
Mm.
And Sutek is an Egyptian god, and Egyptian gods are always pictured as some sort of animal head
yeah,
and
like,
human body.
obviously
They've
it's true.
always done it that way. So then why do we go from that? They're very well established to a full-on dog. It makes no sense.
Right,
So
remember his true form is a jackal head, which is kind of looks like a dog,
yeah,
but they went
the only way an Egyptian god would get away with being fully fledged as an animal is a cat, because of how much they worship them.
Say that again, sorry?
Would be a cat, because of how much they worship them.
Yeah.
But every other animal would not work being fully fledged into an animal, because that's never how any other god would have been interpreted.
Yeah, no, that's
because
true.
It's Egyptian. It's like taking one of the ego Egyptian gods and turning that into a full-fledged ego. It wouldn't work.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Anyway, that was a detour. Right before I was cut off. Right. So yes. So, because you start yapping on about a design we've not even seen yet. Right, Omega.
That's what most people will be worrying about.
Yeah, oh, I know it will be. Right, anyway, so Omega's back. The rumours turned out to be true. It's just the case nowadays, unfortunately. You know, a rumour starts coming out in the last couple of weeks before the episode comes out, it turns, like, literally, fucking hell, if a rumour comes out in season 3 that, I don't know, the Crinoids are coming back, you'll have to believe it, because it's gonna, like, the rumors now just keep turning out to be true. Like Sutek last year, and obviously we had the Midnight sequel rumors, and we've just had the Omega rumors. I actually got told Omega was coming back by someone who I won't name, because they might be watching this video. But
technically, why you not name dropping them when you did it last review? You name dropped them last review.
Right. Starting up again. Sorry. Right. So I was told that Omega was coming back, but as a big crap CGI monster. Now, obviously, we didn't see anything in Westworld. The name was just dropped. And then the Doctor had their memories restored. So if this person's told me that, you can probably expect that next week. Yeah. When they told me that, and I heard the rumours beforehand, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be true. And I really hate saying this, but as soon as that name got dropped, I wasn't excited. I wasn't like, oh my god, Omega. I was just like, I rolled my eyes at it, which I hate. I really hate that. And I read someone else's review of it, and they were basically saying, I was talking to someone about this on the same day, in person. And then I read someone's review after the episode came out, and basically both of them made very good points. And they basically said about how this era seems to keep running on things from the past again. And I've always said this has been Modern Who's biggest problem. It's just using the past as a crutch. And the person's review that I read after the episode came out, they basically said, they had the exact same thoughts as me. It was like, very poorly paced, very flat, not very good dialogue, and just kind of nothing to really grasp at. And then they mentioned Omega, and they said when Omega got revealed, they weren't even like, oh my god, they rolled their eyes at it, and I done the exact same thing. And they basically went on to say, this era's kind of ran out of steam in terms of bringing, like, these classic Who things back, because I think Susan was the last one I was clutching at, and because I didn't want Mrs. Flood to be the Rani, because I wanted it to be something else. That, like, I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't think the Rani was really fucking good in this episode. She's out of character, which is weird to say for the Rani, but she's just like, oh, it's my bone palace, oh, it's my plan. And Mrs. Flood is just like, oh, here's your fucking sandwich, love. She's doing nothing.
I think she's
hopefully next week she'll fucking...
if you just look at some of the glimpses of small segments of what he's doing and what he's saying, I think he's holding back.
No, I would say...
before going full bits on her.
Full bits on her. Yeah, hopefully next week Mrs. Flood's going to, like, push off a bridge or something, but...
And also, I pointed out to you...
What?
Because I'm looking at costume stuff for ideas and whatnot for various different things.
She's not wearing shoes.
But yeah, but that regeneration, I didn't realise that she wasn't wearing any shoes for that. It was just a random thought at the time.
Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah, so she's just kind of subsided. Anyway, yeah, we've got the Rani, we've got Omega, we had Susan, you know, and I'm just like, but this is the thing, like, I know they will not do Omega justice. It doesn't matter what it is, because every fucking time they bring back one of these classic villains or characters, they never do them justice. And as you've seen with Sutekh last year, you would think that's the big one that you bring back that you cannot fuck up. Nope, they done it. Sea Devils, they fucked it up. Sontarans during the Moffat era, they fucked them up. The Cybermen, it's during the Moffat era, especially for Dalek, Cybermen, the Sontarans, they're just not what Terry Nation, Kit Pedler, and Robert Holmes created. And, like, it just, they're not, for me personally, they're never ever done justice. Like, if they, like, imagine if they brought back a Zal or Magnus Greel, they're not going to be as good as they were in the Daemons or Talons. You know, you need to write these well. Now, yeah, obviously Omega could maybe fit in a bit better with, like, Timeless Child stuff and what they're trying to do with here, but you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like, end of the world, the reality's gone, we fell through here, big reversal button, done, saved. You know it's gonna happen again. Every fucking finale RTD does this, and it's really annoying. The only finale he got away with that with was the first one, which was Bad Wolf and Partner of the Ways, because it is technically a Deus Ex Machina. When you look at it, it's, yeah, the Daleks fucking kill everyone aboard this, you know, space station, the majority of them. There's this delta wave, Rose absorbs the vortex of the TARDIS, and turns them all to dust, brings everyone back to life. So it is a Deus Ex Machina, but it's so well done and makes like the vortex of the TARDIS that she absorbs. Like, that's just a great idea. You know, it would absorb it. Like, that worked. The void ship or being sucked into the other, I can let that go. Like, it is a bit of a cheap knockout for getting rid of all the Daleks, and so I might all just throw them in this parallel world. But I can let that go. Last of the Time Lords, you reverse the whole fucking year. That is just bullshit. And then in Journey's End, the Daleks, like, they have this machine, okay, that Donna can somehow bypass, and it makes them all whiz around and explode. Why would they have that in their system? Why would there be any coordination program in their system to fuck them up? Why would they ever make something like that? It just undermines them, and then you spend the last fucking 20 minutes with saying goodbye to companions. You know, even End of Time Part 2, not a Deus Ex Machina, but last 20 minutes it's just dedicated to, like, oh, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I visited every companion, no, you fucking didn't. And then Empire of Death is the same thing again. Oh, Sutek's back. Oh, the world's turning to dust. The thing that destroyed you in the first place was the vortex, so we're going to drag you through the vortex. That kills you somehow, even though you've been floating around it in the last 45 years. Oh, rip the vortex. Everyone's saved. You bring life, I bring death. What? That doesn't make any sense. So basically, my point being, I know what will happen. Omega's gonna, like, fucking turn everything to dust, and then they punch his face, and then button, goodbye, we're all done. It will happen, because that's just how RTD writes his finales. He can't do something that has consequences, like Seeds of Doom, Talons of Weng-Chiang, Inferno. You know, people die in Inferno and they stay dead. Yes, it's a parallel world, but that's what makes it so good. You know, you see these characters.
That's all you can get away with, because it is a parallel world.
Exactly. This is why they need to do a parallel world story again, because it'd be fucking amazing. I think. See, if this was right, I know it's a wish world, you know, which, like, it's not really a parallel world, but, like, also the idea of the wish world, which I want to touch upon, I like it as an idea, but I think we're not really seeing anything good about it. Like, you know, this
We're
one.
not really seeing much of it other than the key elements of everything not where it should be.
Yeah.
Because Conrad created that sort of ideologic world where bunch of roam around freely as if they were people.
Yeah, like,
but
how'd you fuck up a big bone dinosaur and not make that awesome? You know, it done nothing.
But then it also brings in the idea of, in this world, unless you're a thief to the actual world itself, and become part of that world itself, and its society and its rules, you're seen. If you do not, or were never going to, you are just hidden and forgotten about. Mostly, I've seen the disabled, the unable, the people with problems, whether they're missing body parts, deaf, blind, neurodivergent, whatever.
I like that stuff.
Got all shoved aside because they all see things that the average person don't see. And that's why they'll be hidden away. But everything else has been seen. The only one that break that chain is the one to start to realise things that aren't quite right. But most of them get captured and taken away. So they're still seen because they were in the world originally. But those people were never in the world originally from the get-go.
Yes, right. When we watched the episode, I was just going on about the concept and how I don't feel like they really. I like the idea of it, but again, poorly executed. Also, what you just described. What does this sound like? Where have they nicked this from? Fucking McIntyre and Happy's Patrol. It's the same thing. In a sense, but this is a wish.
Not quite there.
But you know what I'm thinking?
Yes, but not quite there. Yeah. Touching upon similar themes, but not quite.
Yeah, obviously it's not exactly the same, but you can see where the inspiration, the themes have came from, because I was thinking McIntyre when watching it. Yeah, I like the idea of like basically this one person who has this idea, like this idealistic world that they've wished into reality, not reality, and yeah, I like that idea, but I just don't think it's a great idea, and they just don't they don't do it well. Yes, I know we don't have the second half of it yet, but I know they'll probably just ignore all of that stuff in the first part of it. Very likely. The only thing I really have left to say is what you were saying about how the people who are the outsiders seeing Shirley as a fucking a hobo was weird. Also, nice she's back properly, even though she's in a worse role than a hobo, but nice to see her back properly, because technically in Lucky Day that was in the past. So, I like that stuff. You know, it was probably the tick for me in that, you know, just nice seeing, I guess, they were homeless in a sense, but, you know, they were just, they're the outsiders, basically, and it was just nice seeing a group of them together. I doubt they'll fucking play a big important part next week, but, you know, and also how they said Unleashed, that was the most complicated thing to put together. You never would think it's that. You'd think a massive bone palace, which was fucking hand sculpted, every single part of that, which is amazing, really amazing that's the first ever hand sculpted set they've done. It looked amazing. It was a really nice set, but you would have thought that that was more complicated than just putting intensity, but no, that was
what kind of
surprised me.
Well,
and they had to do it in an actual street. So
what I'm kind of enjoying as well is the whole Kate relationship.
With that soldier.
Yeah.
I hate it. But
no,
okay.
But I know it's not going to be able to cover tea, but what I'm enjoying from it is the fact that every time we've seen Unit,
she's always been.
She's been brought up just enough to keep it there. It's not like, that could a throwaway thing and we'll just forget about it. Yeah. But a lot of times they bring in relationship stuff from time to time, and then they just put it in for the sake of putting it in and then just forget about it and don't bring it back up again.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But what they're doing is every time I've met them and we keep both of them,
Yeah.
tiny, it might only be a couple of minutes, couple of seconds, but we're seeing something that they refer back to it and they're keeping it consistent, which is nice.
Oh, there we go. I mean, character arc, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
So I think that might play into Land Beneath the Sea.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about this. Very underwhelming. Yeah, I know. It's the first part. Maybe RTD's done the opposite this year, where he's wrote the shit one first, but he's wrote the good one for the second part. My friend Luke stuck that in, who might be watching this. He stuck that in a group chat the other night, and because he was like, "Fuck me, that was dull." And then he sent a message about half an hour later saying maybe RTD's done the opposite, possibly, but I doubt it, because RTD always writes a really good first episode and then a pretty poor second one, you know. Again, I mean, look at it, Utopia, Sound of Drums, I nearly said Journey's End. No, that's the shit one. Still on Earth, Legend of Every Sunday, which I don't like anymore due to Empire of Death, but point being, yeah,
Okay, yeah, it didn't quite add up with what it did.
Yeah. And this might be the case with this, even though it was already boring, but I know it's the first part, but I really don't have high hopes. I had no enthusiasm for this, and I hate saying this, but Doctor Who, it was exactly what I expected it to be. There's no worse feeling than that. You're like, well, there we go. Oh, no, Mega, I was just like, whatever. I'm not excited by it, because they'll fuck them up. Yeah, so cinema. I'm only gonna suffer through Westworld again to see it with my friend.
Cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema.
What cinema?
Cinema.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying I'll suffer through Westworld again because I'm gonna with my my partner and two friends. So I'll suffer through Westworld for them, and obviously a whole episode that we'll see what we think.
But you never know. Westworld might not look as bad once we've got the second part. Sometimes looking at it two separate elements don't really work.
Yeah, I don't get
when you look at it together, it might gel a bit better.
It's just because it's all we have right now.
I know.
So
that's why.
Look what happened with Legend. I loved it at the time. Now I don't like it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't hate it and I don't love it.
Yeah.
Because it is mostly set up, and you can see where all the pieces of the jigsaw right back from the first meet of Mickey Flood. It's now starting to all fit into place.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's all I have to say. Is that.
I don't think there's anything left to say.
Yeah, we still somehow managed to make this like fucking.
Because at the end of the day, Timeless Child Part 2.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Timeless Child Part 2.
Yeah, leave the video on that note to piss the right people off. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Do you want to run through your stuff? No Dalek build part whatever. That's all Shed Update is on. Bye. No.
No, but if you want to check my stuff out, just go to pretty much any social media and check me off where you'll find me pretty much all of them near enough. But yeah, part 2 of the Dalek build put up. Still trying to get stuff sorted for updating the shop. Don't know when that'll go live. I've still got a lot to do for that. But I'm still in the middle. But I'm also in the middle of building stuff for the Connie Clockwise, which I'm running out of time on. But if you're a clockwork, you'll understand. We're always running out of time to do stuff. We're never on time. But yeah, that's basically everything to really update people, I think. Yeah, but if you want to go check it out, come on, check it out. Instagram seems to be the main one I use.
Cool, I will stick that all in the description and pinned comment as always. Anyway, we will see you next week for, I don't know, I just don't care. I don't care about it.
Cinema!
yeah, Empire of Death was rubbish.
Cinema.
Yeah, well, there we go. Anyway, we'll see you next week for the reality war. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.